Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
The #1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham, 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. The show is called Gun Talk because we talk about guns. By the way, we have a new deal up on the Gun Dealio smartphone app. You got to get that. It's free, by the way. This is a Shop Gun Talk deal. If you have to go through the Gun Dealio app, and we got a special deal on our First Person Defender DVD. That's a DVD of our season 1 of First Person Defender, where we throw people into self-defense situation. Tons of information and learning that can take place there. But you got to get it through Gun Dealio. If you don't have it, just load up Gun Dealio on, let's see, you can do it Android or iPhone. The App Store and Google Play is where you get those. It's called Gun Dealio. Now, there's a lot of talk these days about open carry. More and more states are basically either allowing it or removing the restrictions. The question is, how do you carry? What do you use? What kind of holster? What's the system you should use? I had a chance to corner somebody to talk about that a couple of days ago, Tyler Botts with Alien Gear Holsters. Here's that interview. Talking with Tyler Botts from Alien Gear Holsters. Now, Tyler, you guys, you've become a big name in holsters in just a very few years, but you might want to tell some people, they may not actually know about the company.
Yeah, just talking a little bit about Alien Gear Holsters. So we were just founded in 2013, so just a few years ago, and we're headquartered in Hayden, Idaho. Mm-hmm. And Alien Gear Holsters specializes in, we manufacture premium holsters for concealed or open carry. And a lot of our products start at about $29.88, so we've got a competitive price point there. And best of all of our products are made right here in the USA.
Well, that's super. Now, I know that pretty much you started out with the inside the waistband holster, which has been hugely popular, very comfortable. But now you've got an outside the waistband holster. What made you go in that direction?
That's right. Well, so our flagship product is our Cloak Tuck 3.0. That's our inside the waistband holster with steel core, and you're right, it's very concealable and comfortable, and it's been a huge seller for us. And so we wanted to, while we're known as a concealed carry holster company, we wanted to focus on a new product and bring a new offering to market, which was our outside the waistband holster that we're calling the Cloak Mod outside the waistband. And previously we'd have a leather version, and it was mainly just a belt slide holster. So you just kind of string your belt through the back of the holster, and it worked pretty well. It was made of leather. But now we've switched to an all-new advanced OWD product that's designed for open carry. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Well, what makes this different? Obviously, there are a lot of, people have been making belt holsters for a long, long time, and you had to look at that and say, okay, we have to do something different that is better. So what'd you do to this one that's going to grab people's attention?
That's right, yeah. So I think we improved on both those levels. We came up with something that was different and unique to the industry and better, we feel. And so what this is the Cloak Mod OWB holster is actually a paddle holster and a belt slide holster combined into one. And so what we do is when you buy the product, it comes out of the box as a paddle-style holster. And but what you can do is you take off the paddle attachment and you can swap it with a belt slide attachment. So all the hardware is included and directions and so forth, and it's super simple to switch. So really you can customize it for your needs. Well,
for those that may not or may be new to all this, let me explain. A paddle holster, one of the nice parts about that is you can literally slide it in and out or on your belt and off without having to take your belt off or slip it out and thread the belt through. So it's really great for applications where, particularly if, say you're going into pick a post office. You're going into a post office, you need to take your gun off, leave it in the car, or leave it somewhere. You're going into a place, you got to leave your gun. You could just slip this off of your belt, put it where you are, need to store it, and then slip it back on when you get back, versus a belt slide attachment where you have to slip your belt and slide your belt in there. The other side of that is, if you want the absolutely, this is just me, not you, Tyler, I'm just saying, if you want the absolute most in security, a belt slide attachment is going to get you that. How does that kind of sum it up? Absolutely, yeah, that's what we were thinking. So the holster really offers two features. For, like you were saying, the security part. You string the belt through the holster, and it's gonna stay put no matter what. Right. And then for the convenience aspect, you can definitely use that paddle feature, which is also very secure, but like you said, you kind of slide it off when you need to. Which is, I've got to tell you, that's awfully handy. I've used paddle holsters in the past, and I just think the concept, if it works for you, and I'm often having to take a gun off and put it back on, that kind of thing, it's really slick. I like it. But I love the idea that, hey, there may be a time when you want to swap it out. This is you just like screw on the attachment for the paddle or the belt slide? That's right, yeah. It comes with a small hardware kit, and you simply just replace a couple screws, and then you throw on the desired attachment. So it's really easy. That is pretty darn nice. Now, I know you have them available for a lot of guns because, you guys have been making holsters for a while. So how do you go about the process of figuring out what guns you're going to make these for? That's right. So right now we currently have over 500 shells for our holsters. And by gosh. Yeah, by shells, I mean that all of our holsters are compatible with one another. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, if you buy our inside the waistband cloak tuck holster, you can take the form-fitted shell that goes atop your firearm. Mm-hmm. And you take that and you can move that over to our OWB if you like, or any of our other products. So really, you only need to buy the one shell, and then you can buy different holsters for that shell. So it really takes the old having a drawer full of holsters out of the equation, and really, you just buy the holster and the shell for your needs. So when we look at which shells we want to produce, we look at a couple things, the main thing being customer demand. So if we hear that there's a popular firearm being released, we'll do our best to get that in process as fast as we can. Mm-hmm. And so really we just go by demand. So people send us suggestions, and then we try and get that into production. That is slick. It's called the Cloak Mod outside the waistband, OWB. That's right. Yep. Okay, Cloak Mod, OWB. It's all on the website, aliengearholsters.com. There's something I want to get to, though, because, I'm kind of I want to say proponent, but probably a lot of people think they would rather use the term nag, because I nag people forever about, yes, you need a good holster. Yes, but it's all part of a system. You need a good gun, you need a good holster, but none of it really is going to work as well as it should if you don't have a good belt. And I don't think people understand what I mean when I say you need a gun belt, not just a wide belt like you go get at a department store. And you guys have a really cool steel core gun belt, and it's at a very reasonable price. But if you would explain why, because they've heard me say it before, why does a gun belt matter so much? Absolutely. Well, having a quality gun belt to carry your firearm is the main importance. Is it's going to reduce sag. So a lot of us like to carry a holster, whether it's outside the waistband or inside the waistband. But what that does is it's gonna pull down your pants depending on the size of the firearm. Simple as that. Yeah, it's good. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's not safe. Yep. We want to make sure that everything is sort of locked into place. And so what we did was we designed a new style of gun belt that actually has a steel core inserted between two strips of premium leather. And we offer black and brown colors. And right now we're offering a 14-ounce steel core gun belt with alien gear, mm-hmm.
designed specifically to lock your holster in place. So it's very important. It's been very well received by our customers. They love it. All we've heard is great things about the product.
What's the width?
Really
are we talking 1.5 inches, 3/4? What are we looking at here?
It's 1.5 inches, yes, correct.
Okay, so that'll go in almost all belt loops then.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Okay. The steel core, I'm guessing, is to keep the gun from rolling, because you get particularly if you're wearing a full-size, kind of a heavier gun, it has a tendency for the butt. You got all that ammo in the grip. The butt of it tends to roll out like away from your body, and that starts digging into you, and it's uncomfortable. Is that the steel core probably helps with that, right?
Correct. Yes, it keeps the belt staying flat to your body, and it's going to prevent the pistol from sort of rolling over on you over time. So these belts are designed to not only hold up that steel core, is really what keeps the leather true over time. So as opposed to after years of use, it's going to start to, any belt's going to start to break down. But this essentially provides a layer of durability. Yeah,
I mean, nothing made of leather lasts forever. I mean, shoes, belts, even leather holsters. After a while, they kind of start to lose it. But I love that you guys are into that, because now you've got the whole system. You've got the IWB, the OWB, and the belts, and then you've got some combo deals, 2 holster combos. I mean, you got a lot of stuff cooking, man.
Yeah, so currently, if anyone's not familiar with the product, come to AlienGearHolsters.com, and we're currently offering a special where you can buy one of our steel core gun belts along with our OWB, our new OWB product, and you can save $15 off that purchase by bundling the two together.
Oh, combo deal. I like it. Well, it's comfortable. Get a good belt that adds to your comfort. It adds to your security. And you know what? You're just not going to look like a doofus. And let me tell you, if you're an open carry guy, and I have no problem with that at all, but if you're an open carry guy with a lousy holster, you look like a doofus. Don't do that. Get you a good professional-looking rig that's going to be secure, that has the gun where it's supposed to be. Don't embarrass yourself, as well as being safe and comfortable. How's that?
Yeah, I couldn't have worded it better myself.
Okay. Hey, Tyler, you guys just keep knocking them out of the park. I appreciate you spending some time kind of sharing the news. Tyler Botts from Alien Gear Holsters. Good stuff. Check it out. All right, to paraphrase the commercial that's out these days, what's in your holster? Range reports are up next. Give me a holler, 866-TALK-GUN.
Now is the time to save big money on a Liberty Safe. Save over $500 on select models. You'll get the best gun safe on the market, a Liberty Safe. Get upgrades like free gloss finish, free accessories, enter to win a handgun vault. Liberty Safe offers the industry's best lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service. To see the Spring Fever specials, go to LibertySafe.com. That's LibertySafe.com.
When it's all on the line, you can count on Trijicon Optics. Earning its reputation in combat and on hunts in all corners of the world, Trijicon comes through. The new AccuPower rifle scopes feature battery-powered illuminated reticles, variable power, adjustable brightness, plus they're waterproof. The years of waiting, the dollars spent, your hunt of a lifetime comes down to a single moment. Get Trijicon quality. Trijicon.com. Trijicon.com.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from Gun Talk. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
2 things intimidate most new shooters: noise and recoil. Well, at silencershop.com, we turn this into this. Adding a quality suppressor to your pistol or rifle doesn't just make your gun quiet. It reduces muzzle flip and recoil, making your gun easier to shoot and more accurate. The only thing you have to lose is all that noise.
How about the camo pants? Can I lose them too?
Yeah, okay. Put a silencer on your gun and have some fun with silencershop.com, making the world a quieter place.
right, back with you. Tom Gresham here. Let's go straight to the phones. Line 3, Richard, Green Bay, Wisconsin. What you looking for, Richard?
Well, I've got a quick question here. I understand you have some influence with Ruger. I've heard the guys on your show many times. I'm looking for a well-made, and I do mean very well-made, and reasonably priced loader for 1022 rifle, for their BX mags. And it seems like the ones that I've seen out there, ones that I've used, they're all plastic, and they're pretty much junk. So that's really the one shortfall of the 1022 system.
All right, here's a question: How much would you be willing to pay?
Probably upwards of $40 if I knew that it was going to last and actually didn't dent the shells.
And I take it you've tried some of the ones that are out there, because there are a lot of them out there right now.
Yeah, actually, I own one of the, I don't know if we name names or not.
Sure.
Butler Creek, the one with the, you dump the cartridge in and then turn the knob. I swear that indents the cartridges every time I put them in there.
That's interesting. Now, I've used those, and I've not had bent or dented cartridges. Now, are you denting them or bending them?
Well, I know that, the Bloomington bullets actually get kind of bent in the whole case. But no, it's actually denting the cartridges. So I don't know if I got a bad one or what the story is, but I don't use it anymore. Just back to the thumbs. Yeah,
something's wrong there. I mean, I've used them, and we were on a prairie dog shoot, and we basically have one person shooting and another one loading mags in the back. It was just going that fast because you're going through so many, and we're using the big magazines. Now, here's a question for you. The new Ruger magazines, with the BX25s, have you tried those?
Yeah, that's what I'm using. I got a BX25, actually two of those, and then one of the double-ended ones, too. So,
okay.
And then the 10 unit that came with the rifle.
Because those are definitely easier to load than previous mags, the other brands. So,
they're not horrible. I'm looking for something that will get me speed. It takes 10 minutes to load it versus 5 seconds to unload it,
I hear you. I'm looking on the shopruger.com website. I am not seeing a loader for the magazines from Ruger. I will pass along your request, okay?
They'll make one for their own guns, but otherwise today is a good day. It was a range day.
It was a range day. What'd you shoot?
Yeah. SCX 223, my first 5.56 rifle.
Wonderful. They're just delightful, aren't they?
Yes, they are. In fact, I'm sorting through the brass right now. So,
good deal. All right, Richard, thanks for the call. I appreciate that. Let's talk to Sarah. She's in Fresno, California on 2. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, good morning, Tom. Thank you for taking my call.
You bet.
I'm going to be doing some traveling this summer through quite a few states, and I have a CCW in California, but for the life of me, there's 3 or 4 sites I've gone to, I can't figure out where I can carry it and when I can't. Do you have a source for me?
Yeah, I have I got 2 thoughts for you. One is an online place to check where your permit is good, and that's handgunlaw.us. It's singular, handgunlaw.us, not .com, but .us. That's a really good site for finding out where your permit is good. Now, having said that, I'm going to also offer this thought. I would suggest you consider getting a Utah carry permit, because a Utah permit is good in a bunch of states.
You do that if you're not a resident.
Yeah, you can get a Utah permit if you're a non-resident. Not a problem.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a look online. You'll figure out how to do it. Our friend Clark Aposhian kind of keeps me posted on that. He's a trainer over there, but there are plenty of ways to get a Utah non-resident carry permit, and you'll find that it's good a lot of places. But yeah, check out handgunlaw.us. That's where I go to whenever I'm traveling, just to make sure that my permit's good. Appreciate that, and I thank you for the call. Oh yeah, traveling. I'm going to be in Utah. I got to make a trip to the Northeast. We're going through Massachusetts, so no, I'm not taking anything. Not taking a chance on that one. Massachusetts is insane. They don't obey the law, and they will put you in jail, and I don't want to fight it. So I got to go there, but I'm just not going to carry. And it's just, I hate it, but there it is. Let's see, line 1, Justin's with us, Granite City, Illinois. Justin, what's happening?
Hey, Hey, not a whole lot, man. Just living life. Long time no talk. Just want to call and find out some information about how would you rate water jugs as a ballistics media versus ballistics gel? Obviously, the gel's optimum, but as far as the amount of damage, penetration you see, all that type of stuff. Do you get more damage to your bullet out of water and more penetration versus the gel?
Water is harder on bullets than is gel. In fact, bullet makers don't really like water, but it's so convenient for those of us who can't. When you got to cook up a bunch of gel and make big blocks of it to keep it refrigerated, it's a pain. So we use a lot of water. Mainly what I do is I don't try to equate what the performance was in water to what it would be in gel. Just understanding that, if I get 3-gallon jugs penetration or 4-gallon jugs penetration, I can shoot a different bullet or a different load and compare it to that. But I'm just comparing one versus the other in the same medium. It's not too far off. I think you'll probably get a little more penetration in water. You'll also, weirdly enough, get, I think, a little more deformation of the bullet in water, because when a bullet hits the water going fast, water's not compressible. So it's real hard on it. And used to be when we would test rifle bullets on water, it would break up bullets when they hit water, bullets that would work just fine on game and work just fine in gel, but they would break up into pieces when they hit water. This is high-speed rifle bullets. Handgun bullets, not so much. And I think gallon water jugs is actually a pretty decent test medium. For those of us that don't have a lab, can't cook up gel. Now, you can buy a product called Clear Gel, and it's just that. It's clear, and they'll ship it to you, and you can get probably maybe half a dozen shots into a block of this. It is not cheap. It's kind of heavy, and they got to ship it to you, but it's really cool, called Clear Gel. It's pretty cool stuff. We've used it a few times for TV. I like water for several reasons. It's cheap, it's available, it's easy to transport. The cleanup is really easy. Just take the blown up water jugs with you. And, by the way, it really splashes and makes a big old mess. And if you shoot it with slow motion video, which your phone will do these days, which is cool, it's just pure fun. If you're close, you're going to get wet. And that's kind of part of the fun. 866-TALK-GUN.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
Back with you. You've heard me say this over and over again. It's your responsibility to know the law wherever you happen to be. And the laws change every time you cross a state line. Fortunately, we have preemption in a lot of states where they don't change when you cross a city line into a city or go across a county line. But when you go to another state, the laws are completely different. And where one place it may be what we think of as constitutional carry, and you may think you know what that means, it may be different in another place. Calling in right now, Bill has joined us out of West Virginia on line 4. Bill, thanks for calling.
Sure. We just recently enacted a constitutional carry law over the, it was passed through the override of the governor's veto, and while it's a fairly typical constitutional carry law, our Constitution actually respects a rather expanded view of Second Amendment rights, all of which, of course, legally I have no problem with. But what they did, Tom, is they added an additional section that first it recognizes the constitutional carry of right of anyone over the age of 21 without any training whatsoever. That's where you and I absolutely agree that while you can agree legally with that, training to me is essential. But because our permitting process, our carry permitting process, and we're a shall issue state, is a 55-county setup. I mean, you have to just go to your county sheriff, but we are shall issue. They, I guess, sought to preserve those structures, and so they provided that if you are between the ages of 18 and 21 and you wish to carry a firearm, and I think most people would recognize that as a handgun, then you do have to still go through the traditional permitting process, which when some of my friends, some of my gun retailer friends, including a Class 3 dealer, just flat out told me that, and this is something I learned as a child, that just as a general legal matter until I practiced this area of law, that you know that you cannot purchase a handgun until you're 21. You can buy your shotgun and your hunting rifles and your .22 rifles, obviously, when you're 18. But
one slight correction there, okay, or just an adjustment. You can legally buy a handgun before you're 21, but just not from a federally licensed dealer. You can buy a handgun privately, but you can't buy it from a dealer. If I remember this correctly.
No, I think you're right, Tom. Because, and also, obviously, you can have a firearm, passed down to you, through your family.
You can actually own a gun before you're 21, a handgun, but you just can't go to a store and buy one. It's a goofy thing.
That's right. Yeah, and so that's sort of the conundrum here with the firearms dealers I've talked to. Is they tell me that if someone comes in, well, actually, it's such that even if you go into the gun store to buy .22 ammunition and are under the age of 21, because they're going to ask you for identification to determine your age, unless they know you and you've bought a .22 rimfire rifle from them, they're going to quiz you as to how you're going to use that ammunition. Because if you have a .22 revolver or a pistol, then they will not sell it to you. Now, this is what they've told me, and I've looked at that regulation, and they're correct.
I should point out that you've been involved with law enforcement for a while, right?
Yes.
In the Attorney General's office. So here's a question for you. In West Virginia, can you still, even though you're an adult over 21, can you still get a carry permit so that you will have a permit that you can use for reciprocity? Well,
that's interesting, Tom, because, because the constitutional carry issue is such a strong issue, it is more or less an either-or issue. Either I have the constitutional right to carry without any restrictions whatsoever, or I don't. And we have sort of come down on the side of either you do or don't. So we're saying that you do. And so that sort of leaves out the problem you just raised, and there's no answer to it. Would it be smart to get your permit? Sure. Are you legally required to? Absolutely not.
Yeah, and see, for me, I would go ahead and do it, even though I wasn't required to, just so I would have a permit that would let me go through all these other states.
Well, and Tom, that's exactly what I did. Was once I saw it was going to be passed, I sent the note with whatever clout that I have to the governor's office to take a hard look at this. And they have great lawyers that look at this on both sides, and this seems to me to be a fairly simple issue to address. But when I was up for renewal, I went to Virginia, which is very close to me, and received mine. And there, the state police runs the entire permitting process throughout the state. It's not a county by county sort of thing. Right. And so I obtained mine there because of the reciprocity reason, because I was concerned about it. And you may have reported on one of your shows before, if you remember, when the Attorney General of Virginia said they were no longer going to accept or have reciprocity for out-of-state permits. And, of course, he was promptly reversed, and the state police were really the ones leading the way on that.
Well, it goes to your point. And, Bill, look, I appreciate your call and your information there. It goes to the point that even if your state has constitutional carry and you say, I don't need a permit here, yes, but do you ever travel? Do you go out of state? Would you like to be able to carry as you travel If you have no permit, more than likely you're not going to be able to carry. You need the permit for reciprocity. Well, you know what? We're going to be working on this. It's a work in progress, I guess. 866-TALK-GUN.
I'm just as good as these guys. When will I get my chance to prove it?
Your chance is now. American Marksman is a nationwide series of target shooting competitions designed to give you your big break. Think you've got what it takes to go home with $50,000? Visit ammarksman.com to register today. That's ammarksman.com. American Marksman. Are you the one?
You like free stuff, right? You like good deals, and you want more guns, ammo, and accessories. So, get all of that with the free, yes, the free smartphone app, Gun Dealio. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you'll get special offers and deals when you walk into a gun store. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Who wouldn't want that? Gun Dealio at the App Store and Google Play. GunDealio.com.
FN handguns bear the DNA of legends, of John Browning, the father of modern firearms, of the artisans and craftsmen who brought his genius to life, of the brave souls who defended our freedom on the front lines for the last 100 years, and the brave souls who defend it on the home front today. FN handguns, the DNA of legends in the palm of your hand. Ask for FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
All right, here's some food for thought. Back in 1991, only a handful of states had the right to carry. I mean, we're talking half dozen, maybe, 1991. Now, more than 40 states have adopted some form of right to carry. Actually, all 50 states have something. Some of them are fairly restrictive at this point. So we went from almost none in 1991 to, for all intents and purposes, all of them. Now there's a right to carry. Now, during that period of time, violent crime rate and murder rate have dropped by 50%. So we went from almost no one had right to carry, could not carry guns for protection, to now in most states, almost anybody can if they meet the requirements. And crime rate has dropped by half. I don't know, just throwing it out there for your consideration. Line 3, John's with us, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Talk about Hillary. John, what are you thinking?
Hi, John, or Tom. I had a comment about Hillary in the Supreme Court, but I wanted to mention that I met you a couple years ago when you were here in Tulsa covering the Wanamaker gun show. A friend of mine knows you through the Piper Club. He's not really a gun guy, but knowing that I was, he asked if I wanted to accompany him to the dinner. But found out then that you are the good guy that you come across as on the radio.
That's very kind. Thank you.
My point was that I work in the factory occasionally, and I deal with a lot of union guys who are fairly reliable Democrat voters. But if they thought the Democrats were going to take their guns away, that I think they would go over. But most of them don't believe that Hillary will do it. I was told by one that it would be political suicide for her to try and take everybody's guns away. I pointed out to him that the Supreme Court will do that for her. You know, she can stand back and say, well, it's not really what I had in mind, but I packed the court with the best people I know, and that's what they think.
It's interesting. I'm glad you brought this up, because I had somebody the other day say, well, what are they going to do? Like go door to door and take all the guns? I said, no, that's not at all what they're going to do. And it will not happen overnight. It will start under Hillary. It will take 20 or 30 or 40 years. So the whole political suicide doesn't apply at all. I mean, here's an example. Here's what's going to happen. The Supreme Court decides, overturns Hillary. Now, you don't have a right to own a gun. So all of a sudden, you have cities and states who are now killing off concealed carry. Then they're saying, well, if there's actually no individual right to own a gun, we can tax guns. We can put a $5 a round tax on ammunition. It's been proposed. We can do these one by one by one. We could actually make it to where it's just really difficult and really expensive. And over the course of 20 or 30 years, people just continually stop shooting, get out of it, don't get into it. Gun stores close, shooting ranges close, and then before you know it, there are very few shooters left. It withers on the vine and goes away. And nobody had to go door to door to take guns away. Guns and shooting just become not important, not real, not out there. Trust me, Hillary's not going to put soldiers in the street to take guns away. That's not the way this is going to happen. It's going to be an atrophy. Jim points out, atrophy is a good word for it. It just shrivels over the course of decades. And look, if you get 20 or 30 or 40 years of Supreme Court decisions like this, and look, I appreciate the call, sir. What's going to happen is you'll have two new generations of Americans who think it's perfectly normal for there to be a $100 or a $300 tax on a gun. I mean, the idea that you could put a $200 tax on a suppressor or a machine gun back when they cost $50 or $10 for a suppressor in 1934 when that was enacted was crazy. Now everybody thinks it's normal. So they took a $10 suppressor and said, we're going to put a $200 tax on it. Take those numbers and apply them to today. We're going to take a $50 gun, and it's going to be a $5,000 tax on it. Perfectly legal, according to the Supreme Court. They just go away. So people say, oh, she would never take our guns away. Yes, she would. She stands there at every single speech she makes and says she will. She stands there and says, the Supreme Court got it wrong on Heller and we have to fix that. She stands there and says, we must ban the most popular guns in America, any semi-automatic rifle. She promises this. How is it that people can listen to this and not think that she means what she says? She has pushed for gun bans for 30 years. Her husband orchestrated the biggest gun ban in the history of the United States. And only because they were so arrogant when they passed the Clinton gun ban, a.k.a. assault weapons ban, that they thought, well, we can always get this renewed, but we'll give a little bit of clearance. We'll make sure we get this passed by putting in a sunset provision that after 10 years this will go away. We'll just renew it. Unintended consequences. Passing the Clinton gun ban cost the Democrats control of Congress, thus ensuring they couldn't renew the gun ban. Put her back in is the operative phrase. The gun ban comes back and it gets expanded, and there will never be a sunset to it. They'll be gone forever. That is a promise, and it's a promise from Hillary. All right, back with you here. Let's see. We're going to go talk to Barry on line 2, Carson City, Nevada. Hey, Barry, what happened here? Barry, what happened to you? Barry's not there. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's go down line 4. Frank's with us out of New Jersey. Hey, Frank.
How you doing today? Just a quick thing about Alienware. I have 4 of their holsters. They are very comfortable. They're in the waistband. I have it for a SIG P226, a CZ P09, and an HK VP9. And they are really, I don't know that I'm wearing it most of the time. I wear it at
gear holsters, yeah. And they're affordable, too, which is the other thing.
Yeah, that's what first attracted me to it. I just started carrying about half a year ago, and I can't carry in our depressed state of New Jersey, but I go to North Carolina a lot, where I can carry with the Utah.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you about the New Jersey thing, so I'm glad you offered that up. All right, now, but I gather you disagree with me on something here.
It's ridiculous, the state. My other question for you is, I don't understand something, Tom. How can people who swear on the Bible to defend and uphold the Constitution then try to circumvent the Constitution and still remain in office?
I can explain that.
Please do.
Okay, it's real simple. When they look at the Second Amendment, they don't see the same thing we do. They look at it and say the Second Amendment says that the militia, and they believe that to be the National Guard, can have guns, and they look at it and say it does not say that individuals can have guns, and I think the Supreme Court was wrong. And so when I support gun bans, that is absolutely in line with my view of the Constitution, and they believe that they are absolutely upholding their sworn oath. That's where they are.
But when it was written back on the day where there weren't phones or computers, and people would come out and defend their property or land with pitchforks, knives, guns, whatever they had, and if it needed to be to defend the country, they defended the country with the weapons that they had. I mean, that's how America was born.
You know I'm with you, right? Not only am I with you, you know who else is with you? The U.S. Supreme Court agrees with you. And with the Heller decision and the McDonald decisions, they said, yes, you have the individual right to own a gun. They meant what they said. Now, but we have people like Hillary Clinton that says, no, that's wrong. The Supreme Court was wrong on this. We have to get it switched up. Give me the chance, and I will put people on the Supreme Court that will undo this and will strip Americans of this right to own guns that they think is a myth and that they think is wrong. And they want to make sure that they, the people in power, are the only ones that have firearms, the only ones that have power. It's always weird to me, liberals don't like the idea of all the power resting with the government. It's kind of antithetical, there you go, to what they believe. But in this case, they want the state to have the monopoly on power. And I want to ask them, how has that worked out in the past for Black Americans, for other groups that were oppressed by the government, for Japanese Americans that were interned? When the government had the monopoly on the power, did that really work out so well for individuals? There I go with that whole libertarian thing again. I kind of figured out that's probably the more accurate description. Tell you what, we're going to be doing the after show here in just a minute. If you have not participated in that, you can do that right now by calling us. 866-TALK-GUN will get you in. If you haven't heard it, well, it's a part of the show that doesn't get broadcast. We just put it online. You can, easiest way. Go get the Gun Dealio app. Stick it on your phone. It's free. It's a smartphone app. Works on, the Googles, the iPhones, all that stuff. You can listen to the after show that way. In the meantime, do some more shooting. Get some real training. Make a commitment. Take somebody with you. Take care of your family.